Philadelphia Phillies acquire veteran outfielder Austin Hayes in a deal for Anthony Dominguez and Chris Pache, two players on this Philly Major League roster. So this season's been a down year for Austin Hayes. And obviously with the youth moving over there in Baltimore, he was just phased out for the most part with Colton Cowser and Kjerstad coming up on the Major League roster this season. So on the year for Hayes, only 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, 18 runs scored, a .255 average, and a .316 on base, where last season he was an all-star for the Baltimore Orioles, 16 homers, 67 RBIs. So now I think his role with Philadelphia is we might see him in some center field playing versus lefties is Austin Hayes, because obviously Philadelphia, they needed another guy out there in the outfield with some pop and who could hit lefty pitching, where Brandon Marsh really hasn't been hitting lefties throughout his major league career. So in terms of that, and someone who is a part-time starter, I think it's a good move for Philadelphia. And said Baltimore has tons of prospects and up-and-coming players where they didn't need Austin Hayes, and he was phased out of an everyday role where he's only had 157 at-bats. So Philadelphia needed another hitter in their lineup who could hit lefties, and they get it in Austin Hayes. And now to Baltimore, they get Sir Anthony Dominguez, where he's a hard-throwing righty, no doubt about it, is Dominguez, with some closer experience as well. But obviously Philadelphia didn't see much value in him, and they trade him off in this deal. And now he could be a 7th or 8th inning man for Baltimore. 36 innings, 3-2 record to save, 40 Ks, a 4.75 ERA, and a 1.22 whip. So Anthony Dominguez, he's not going to have any fantasy value unless somehow he steps into the closer role for this Baltimore Oriole team. But to get another hard-throwing righty in that bullpen and a power arm in a division, obviously, with the New York Yankees, with Soto and Judge, and even the Boston Red Sox, who are playing right there for a playoff spot in the wild card, I think it's a good move to get Dominguez if you're not going to use Austin Hayes, which they haven't. And then Chris Pache, he's nothing more than a backup and a sporadic starter here and there throughout his career. On the season, 104 at-bats, no home runs, 9 RBIs, 9 runs scored, a .202 average, and a .288 on base. Pache, he's more of a a backup and a defensive replacement late in games where he could go out there and get it. But obviously he's not going to have a role on this Baltimore Oriole team, and at best be a 25th, 26th man on the roster. So Austin Hayes traded to the Philadelphia Phillies, and we'll see if a change of scenery could get him back to hitting the baseball well, even though, like I said, I believe only versus lefties for the most part he'll be in the lineup. Anthony Dominguez helped this Baltimore bullpen for the remainder of the 2024 season.